You know, if you had a chance to sit down with President Trump and give him your thoughts, what would you get across to him?
I think I would talk to him about the value of taking care of people and rather than making more terrorists, you know, using diplomacy and help and humanitarian aid to influence in the Middle East rather than you know, towing the line with Israel and bombing Israel's enemies.
If he gets fascinated with the bombs, and we have so many, think about it. It's like a kid with a bag of fireworks. You know, you light one, is he going to stop? You know, we've got a penetrator we never used. We have so many weapons. Raytheon's making 196 of those Tomahawk cruise missiles for just this year. So that kind of gives you an idea how many there are out there. And, you know, a very impressive missile. It can be launched from submarines, boats, from land. It can loiter, do figure eights, and then be redirected. But in the end, it kills people. And we really need to think of the human needs.
I don't do war. I can't watch anything from Vietnam or from World War I or from World War II. I just have an antipathy toward war. And money going to kill more people rather than using diplomacy, I think, is abominable.
Good evening. I'm Eric Hackley, and this is Hackonomics. Tonight is a live call-in show, and we want you to call in and ask our guests some questions. We're going to be talking a lot about community activism. We have two different groups and an individual coming on later. They're all activists, and they are not shy about expressing what they want concerning the betterment of Fort Wayne. My first guest is Miss Mary Pat Leonard. Welcome to the show here. I mean, you guys are so busy here, and the name of your organization is Our Revolution.
Correct.
That sounds very aggressive. Tell me about Our Revolution.
I thought that name was rather aggressive too, but it's Our Revolution of Northeast Indiana, and we are part of Bernie Sanders' larger Our Revolution organization that's national. And Our Revolution was what Bernie said, that with everyone fighting towards a goal, we can all succeed. But if just a few are fighting for that goal, chances aren't so wonderful. So that's where he said that people have got to get together and join in a revolution to change things.
And how did you get involved with that?
I was a supporter of Bernie Sanders for a long time, and I had to travel for my work. And I got to listen to a talk show, and every Friday they'd have brunch with Bernie. And Bernie would talk about the issues going on in Washington. And this was for years. Every Friday I would tune in on driving wherever I was going. And I was impressed with how knowledgeable he was. And in the issues he believed in, I totally believed in as well. And so he announced that he was going to run for president. And immediately I signed up to work on his campaign in Northeast Indiana. So that's how we started. We had the Bernie Sanders campaign in Northeast Indiana, and combined we worked with the Indiana people all through the state to get Bernie to win the primary a year ago in the state of Indiana. And then when Bernie did not win the Democratic primary, we transitioned to Our Revolution.
So as you began doing that, I mean, when the show began here this morning, right now, I filmed that at a protest where I first saw you.
Right.
And what was going on then? And tell me about the people who I did speak with.
Well, I know them because we run in the same circles. They were protesting war, and Bernie does not believe in war. He believes that we need to go to do negotiations.
Now, those were different organizations from yours.
They were United Activists. Oh my goodness, I can't think of all the people that were down there, but there were several groups that were there, plus our revolution. We all support each other, and we were just there carrying signs to let people know that we are against dropping bombs on people. So.
Well, right now, we just snatched you out of a meeting here next door. I didn't know that so much was going on at the downtown library here in Fort Wayne. And when I went into your room where you're having your meeting, the room was jam-packed. What's going on there?
We're having a people's forum. We're having groups of individuals who represent different organizations throughout Fort Wayne and Northeast Indiana who work on projects that we all believe in. For example, I just left and it was Interfaith Alliance for power, for solar power and that type of thing. The Interfaith Alliance was heading up the project against I&M, getting a waiver to spend more money and more of the utility people's money on a coal-fired plant down in southern Indiana. We've got teachers union, we've got people for the common good, they're organizing it. There's 40 different groups over there. I could go through the list, but that might take all of our time, including people who believe in health care for all, and the teachers groups that I do love.
So these are all basically groups, well, individuals that turn into groups who have their own interest.
Right.
And so at the core of that, at the core of your entire body of people are individuals who are brave, who are idealistic, who come up with these ideas on what can make their community or America better, and they go for it. Am I accurate?
You are correct. And a lot of us travel within the same circles. I was there at the Peace March, several other groups were there. We had a combined meeting on healthcare for all, or single payer plan, or some people call it Medicare for all. We have marches that are against Trump. We have marches for the climate. We had a women's march. So we all seem to gel well. There's about 40 groups in there.
Now you just said something here that kind of struck a nerve. When you stand back and look at what you guys are doing, you see something great there. And now I'm not saying that that's evidence of America becoming great, but Donald Trump, he just had his 100-day celebration, and I saw something that he really did that was great that he didn't get credit for.
Bringing so many groups together?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We knew when we started our revolution, whether Hillary won or Donald Trump won, that we were going to work on the platform that Bernie Sanders really put together for the DNC and for all of us, and that is gender equality, better race relations, $15 minimum wage, health care for all. Climate is a big topic for Bernie, and those are just some of them. So, and we knew that we wanted to keep on that track and also support issues in Fort Wayne, Northeast Indiana, and support candidates who are going for those same ideals.
And one more thing here, America is getting fatter, and with all these protest marches, Trump should really be congratulated for that. There's people marching everywhere across the country.
I would have loved to have been in Washington, D.C. this weekend. It would have been wonderful. But I couldn't, so I'm sure we'll have a climate march here.
Why do you think it's important for people to become involved in what you're doing? First of all, how do people become involved with the protest groups? I mean, there's so many things going on. How do you find out what's going on?
Facebook is usually our main main thoroughfare to get the word out, but I also have a mailing list of about 500 people that we email and update on a twice monthly basis, letting everyone know what's going on, what's coming up. Sometimes it's, hey, we just found out that this is going on in a couple of days, we wanted to let you know. Indivisible is having a town hall for Jim Banks come May 13th. Now, I won't be able to go, and I know a couple of people can't go, but a lot of people are going to go up to Steuben County, although Jim Banks won't be there. But people will be there, it will be recorded, and it will be sent on to Jim Banks so that he knows how the people care about the issues.
I want to tell our audio person to get our next clip ready to go. You know, with this many people coming together, fighting over or discussing American issues, why is it important that when adults become involved, they bring their kids with them?
Oh, I think it's so important for children to realize that activism starts with you. If not me, who? I have been a volunteer all my life for different organizations. Now I'm retired and can volunteer a little bit more. But I worked for a free healthcare clinic, and my son went with me at 10 years old, and he was painting and cleaning a building that we were just getting into to give out free healthcare. And that was important, and to this day he is still an advocate, and he went to the Indiana Democratic Delegation and the DNC program in Philadelphia.
You know, you just said something here as we close down here. So the activist spirit is genetic in your lineage.
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
I mean, so you were real young when you started. Why did your parents get you ignited at a young age?
My mom wanted to get busing for, I went to a parochial school back then, and she wanted to get the buses that were right next door at the public school to be able to, small amount, to transport the children to, and she marched. So I marched as a young person to try to get busing, and we ended up getting it. So that was the first part. Plus she was a nurse, and I learned how important healthcare was. My dad was working quite a bit, but I worked in a two-income family in the 60s, and that was kind of, usually mom stayed at home. My mom was a nurse and worked at night, so it was wonderful to see that. I never knew anything different.
Well, Mary Pat, I appreciate your coming on. Tell the folks that I want to get more involved with them, because they all have great stories like yours, and I can't wait to speak with them. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate it.
And get that clip running, please.